Greetings, Minecrafters! Nonsanity here, and welcome to episode 7 of All the Mods 10 to the Skies. Alright, so last time we set up our netherite processing and all of this mechanism stuff. I have upgraded the tiers of all these machines so they're now factories. All the blue ones do 7 at once, and the purple ones do 9 at once. And I also, because I've got even more resources, I've increased all my numbers. So if we've got at least 2,000 osmium, and we have less than 1,000 basic control circuits, plug in the osmium and make more basic control circuits. Now it will stop feeding it osmium when we have 1,000 basic control circuits. But now because there are 9 slots in here, it'll stop putting more in, but we'll still have 9 stacks that are still being processed. So we'll end up with more than the 1,000 when it finishes. Did the same for the alloy, the first tier of the alloy, and then increase the numbers for the second and third tiers so that we have to keep at least 800 of the first tier. And we want to make at least 600 of the second tier. We want to keep at least 400 of the second tier and make at least 200 of the third tier. And for now, that's good enough. I can always increase those numbers if I suspect I'll need more than that. But at the moment, it is quiet, so I should have equivalent amounts here. So I've got over 1,000 infused. Let's see. Got over 1,000 basic control and 1,000 of the basic and alloy. Also have 1,000 reinforced and 400 of the atomic. So, yeah, it's satisfied. All right, whole bunch of project chests scattered around the place. First one is I took some of that refined obsidian, this stuff, which by taking out some of this refined obsidian dust and popping it in the osmium compressor up here with some osmium, it makes these ingots, the refined obsidian ingots. 24 of those will let me make a full set of armor, which is really good armor. And another 7 will let me make a paxel. But I'd like this to have silk touch. So let's do that real quick. So I made a primitive alloy smelter, and we're just going to set these up temporarily right here. Which, oh, I still had some coal in it. Give it half a stack of iron, half a stack of obsidian, and a full stack of coal. Because you need 1 part iron, 1 part obsidian, 2 parts coal. And it will slowly turn into dark steel. Very slowly. Yeah, I could always... I made the time in the bottle a while back. There we go, dark steel. And you can use the dark steel to make other machines in the mod, including... I'm not sure what it is, but you can make a better version of this alloy smelter, which takes power and runs a lot faster. So I'm going to put that away. If we ever need more, we can make that machine and go faster. But in the meantime, I can use some of it, just 4, some diamonds and a book, to make the enchanter. And the enchanter here, you give it a book and quill. And if you don't know how to get the ink sacs, you can just buy a squid egg from the market here for a diamond. Spawn it, kill it, you get some ink sacs. So give it, I think it just needs 1 slime ball. 1 slime ball? Yeah, 1 slime ball and some lapis. And you can get a silk touch book. So we're done with those. I made an anvil on a stick. Toss in my paxel and the silk touch, and now I've got a silk touch paxel. Just that easy. All right, so this thing is cranking away. we're very shortly, I will stop using this and this to do my ore processing, because even just doing the manual sifting, which with these things goes very quickly. I mean, I can process a whole lot of ore without much effort. I've got tons in here waiting to go through the machine. I was generating it faster than this could handle it. And what I'm going to be doing next is going to generate it even faster. I've also stuck some ancient debris in there. Some ancient debris, plural. And it's melting that down. Another reason why there's so much backed up is this thing gets clogged. I wish they'd fix that bug. I'm not sure if there's a way I can automate around that bug, but if I can think of one, I will come up with one. All right, so you do this one or these holes. Let's do these holes because they do sort of come first. So down here, I've built a little wall. I've sort of assembled this once, as I often do, just to get the layout here. Because these are lower slabs, this is a top block surface. These are lower slabs, so they're not top block surface, which is why the staircase doesn't come all the way down. You know, I never put a torch here. That's fine. So I got this down here, and here I'm using some of the framed blocks. So I break that. You can see I've got this framed half block. These are just wooden stairs. That just gives me a nice sort of thin wall there. I'm going to do a little bit of create. And if you're going to do create, might as well go big or go home. So I've got 23 large water wheels and 1 small water wheel. That's a little trick. If we get these guys spinning, I should have 2 buckets of water. Do the 2 bucket trick here where you pick some up, put it down. All right, those are all powered. Let me grab some more water here. And you can see how fast it's spinning. But if you do make a little one and attach it and start that spinning, look, the speed just doubled. When you have 2 things producing some speed that produce different speeds, it'll go with the upper one. And this guy spins a little faster. And it makes all the rest spin faster. So, useful little trick. And now we're going to really scale up its speed, but we're not going to use gears. Everybody uses gears. Let's do something different. Let's use encased chain drives, which are just an andesite casing with some nuggets and some adjustable chain gear shifts, which do require an electron tube, but that is just an iron plate. You can hammer that. And a polished rose quartz, which if you make some diamond grit sandpaper, put it in your offhand, and make this rose quartz, which is easy, and then sort of right-click in the air, it will turn it into this stuff. So I placed down one of the adjustables and attach it to a regular chain drive. Now, as you can see, they're both turning at the same. This is a way to laterally move rotation. Very similar to putting a small gear here and a small gear there, except they stay oriented in the same rotation direction. But these things have another feature, and that is if you give it a redstone signal, so if you're inputting power on the gear shift, and now you see they're going at the same speed. I flip this lever, that one is now going at twice the speed. And if I added more, they would all be going at twice the speed. So if on the input of the chain line, you have the adjustable gear shift and it gets a redstone signal, it will double the speed of all the others. If it's the other way around, if you're putting the power into one of the regular chain drives, but there is a gear shift on it and you power it, it goes at half the speed. So really, this block will always go half the speed of that one. But if it's the input, it's going to increase it. So we can just go ahead and let's see how I want to do this. Every time I do it, it ends up being a little bit different. So we want another input here. Let's try going down. Okay. Now let's go up. So then I can put another one here and there. Putting them right next to each other can sometimes get confused, but we'll see how it does here. Put that there. That there. All right, we're good so far. And oop, water. I got a block there. So that, no, see that one connected to that one. Let's make it go down. So let's put one down here and see if we get lucky. Good, it connected down. It might have connected horizontally still, in which case I would have had to have broken that one temporarily while I place this and then put it back again. Likewise, if I place this here, it's going to connect. If I want it to go horizontally, and I place this, it's still going to connect vertically. So if I break that temporarily, do this one, then place that one. There we go. Yeah. So now all I have to do is place redstone. Actually, let's move that one there. So it does double duty. Put one down here, and that one will do double duty. And this one and this one, whoop, they will need their own. Oop. Is that too many? This may be as fast as it could go. If I place that there. Okay, I guess we don't need that one anymore. Oh yeah. Go away. Come back. All right. So there we got an output. They can also twist. So if I place this one looking down, it is still connected to the chain, but now there's a twist in the chain and it's looking up. So that's sort of handy. So I'm going to place, I need a few more of those. Every time I do that arrangement, it comes up a little bit different. If it came up a little lower. Some more chain drives here. Yes. Nope. And I'm one short. How'd that happen? All right, I'll make another. I have some? Yes, I've got some. Good. All right. Another chain drive. There. Oop. There. And I place encased fans here, 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 and here. Now, which way are they blowing? They're sucking down. So I do need to reverse this, which you can do with a vertical gearbox. Now that those are all spinning in the opposite direction. Whoa! And they're blowing really hard. Now, I don't know if that makes what we're going to do with them any faster. But I thought I'd give it a try. And this is such a fun way to scale up your speed. I wanted to show that off. It's more compact than the gears, I think. Even using andesite casings on the gears to make them a little bit more compact. I think this is even more compact. It's just a little bit tricky to get them placed when they want to link to each other if you do it really compact like that. All right, so now I'm going to put water here, lava there, and a soul campfire in each of those. Put down some backing blocks so I can place, not there, here. And one more there. All right. So this is a washing station, this is a smelting station, and then we have 2 haunting stations. So what do those get us? All right, let's put some of this stuff away. And there. One of the nice things is, let's see, for the haunting, let's get, we don't need to get a big one. Let's just get a smaller one here. It'll work with the full-size ones. So we've got some cobblestone here, and this is 3x cobblestone. If I put that on there, let's go get another one. Another 3x. This time we're going to smash it with a hammer twice and turn it into sand. Like over here, we've got, instead of the cobblestone, we now have 3x blackstone, which is, as it says, 729 blackstone, all done at once. And you could, again, you could put the this guy up here on it. That's 500,000 converted in just seconds using this. And this turned the sand into soul sand. So we can now use those to do some sifting. And by just using the cobble gen, which is still just a basic cobble gen, I should speed it up, and being able to convert at this compact level of 500,000, I don't have to set up an actual production chain for live production of blackstone and soul sand. I could just do 2 of those, you know, and that'll be 1,000,000. And that'll probably be more than I'll ever need in the pack. And if it starts running low, I can do it again easily enough. Likewise, we want smooth stone. Grab one of these 3s again. Toss that on there. And the washing station could do lots of things. You can find all these recipes and the uses of encased fan. So here's bulk blasting, bulk haunting. It's using fire. So the washing lets you do stuff. What was the interesting one? Yeah, the sand to clay. So I can make a whole lot of clay all at once just by taking, let's go get one more. Oh, missed. Oh, there's no more of those. All right, we'll take a bigger one. Gonna get a lot of clay. Toss that on there. Oh, I hope maybe there isn't a compacted clay. Is there a clay 6x? There is. Okay, good. So this should convert that to clay. And here we've got smooth stone. So if I unpack this, we've got a lot of smooth stone now. And if I put a big block on there, I'd have a whole lot more. Maybe that doesn't work. Let's see. Uses. Can haunt it to make soul sand. And I can smelt it to make glass. Oh, but they left out the washing. They need to add those recipes. That'd be a really good way to get clay. Oh well. You could still do a whole lot of clay at once, just setting up a processing of putting regular sand through the washing. Might as well make some glass. It'll be all the glass I'll ever need. Alright, so next step. Doing what some of you may have been saying, why aren't you doing... No, none of you have said this. I sort of expected somebody to say, why aren't you doing automatic sieving? Why are you doing it manually? Well, because my manualing was so good. With 25 and the macro, and especially with these things loading up my inventory automatically. So now we got a lot of glass. How much? We have 6,500 glass. I should unpack it before I put it back in my system. That's not going to fit. Let's see, it's faster if I do it this way. Yeah, look at all this. I'll be right back. All right, all the glass is put away. Let's start working on some sieving. But I'm going to be doing blackstone, soul sand, gravel, sand, and dust. I don't have compacted dust here because compacted dust doesn't exist. So we're going to have to do a little bit of uncompacting. And I'm going to do that with these crafters. In the same way that I was unpacking the gravel and later soul sand in here, we're going to be doing the same thing over here. So that way I can process it in a large scale, large compaction. So like here's 5x. I want to have, yeah, and then I'll hit the R button, which now remembers that these slots can only hold 5x. And I'm going to do 2 4x and 2 of 3x, remember? 2 of 2x. I'll just all the rest of the row with 1x. There we go. Yeah, so with as many as, if I later want to upgrade to 6 or 7x, I can stick them in here. So I'm going to start with the 1x at the beginning. We want this to be an internal 1x, or no, this is an external. So 1x blackstone becomes blackstone, it goes to the external output. So we'll apply that. Next recipe will be internal. This will be 2x down to 1x. Next will be 3x, internal down to 2x. And then 4 down to 3. And finally 5 down to 4. So let's turn this off, so it needs redstone to activate, and I can load it up. So if I turn it on, we're just going to get rid of all this and make 4x and just sort of fill up all these slots. It'll probably end up with all these filled and all these filled. I guess we should see it go once. All right, here we go. On, off. So yeah, we got lots of 4x, 3x is filled up, 2x is filled up, all the 1x's are filled up, and we have blackstone ready to be crushed. Because the blackstone does need crushing before it can be processed. So let's get out some cable here. I'm going to lay down a bunch of these and disconnect them early. Actually, I'm going to do a another row up here and disconnect those. So this one doesn't need one. And this one doesn't need one. But there will be blocks there. I think that's the arrangement I need. I have one extra pipe. I think it's like that. There we go. Alright, so we need crusher. So we're going to put a crusher here. Ah, see that? Connected. I don't want that to connect. And here. And I don't want that to connect. Okay. So it's going to output the blackstone. Blackstone's going to go in here. It's going to get crushed. And if you hold a hammer, any hammer from the mod, the blue tells you which face is the output. And they're both going to output towards me, which is what I wanted, so that's fine. And these are all going to start feeding into sieves. I think I want to do it this other way around here. Yeah. Because this is going to create sand. So some of that sand is going to get piped out and piped into here to be sieved. And some of the sand will come into here and get crushed into dust, and that'll go into there. Meanwhile, this will be doing gravel. This will be doing soul sand. They don't need crushing. And this will be doing blackstone, which does need crushing. Alright, and then they all need a chest to go out to, and I want to make them separate chests. And I guess that was the last chest, but I will get a fresh one so I don't have to empty it quite yet. They're going to need sieves, and I made more of the netherite sieve, so they all have that. And I've got maximum upgraded here for each of these, and another stack each for the crushers. So they will crush 64 at a time, a whole stack. Every time this green hits top, boom. So it's about 5 seconds. I was just counting there. It does a whole stack, but it takes 2,000 RF a tick. I don't know if that's just the tick that it does the processing, or for the full 5 seconds. Cost per item is 2,560. Processing time 80 ticks. Well, it's going to take a lot of power. But we've minimized those by using these guys and a little bit of manual feeding. All right, so now I just have to set up these other guys. So we'll have some soul sand. All right, the sand is in. I did go up one more level. So I only have 2 of the 5 instead of 7. And I've got 5 slots of 6x. And I added one more recipe that takes the 6x down to 5x. So turn that on and it's ready to go too. So again, the sand will come out and go into this and that. I think they're almost ready to go. Still need to do a bit more here. I'm going to put down a storage controller, which will link to all of these. And I've run over a cable here. I mean, it didn't have far to go. I just connected it to the other ones. They're connected to my main system. I'm going to put an item importer here and say import. I'm going to say import everything. I'm going to leave it blank for the moment. And then over here, I want an exporter. And this one's going to do blackstone at a high compression rate. So I got 3, I got 4. So let's do compression rate of 4. We will get out the logic programmer, choose item, Blackstone 4X, make a card for it. And we're going to export item, that card. So that should be putting 4X in here. There should be no more in my system. Yep, it's gone now. Now the reason for that is sifting Blackstone. Let's go ahead and turn it on. So that's putting the crushed Blackstone. And that's going to come in here. It's not happy. Oh, I haven't put energy to everything yet. Let me do that. Let's see, we'll put this here. Those 3 machines need it. And I'm going to connect it like that. Disconnect that one, make that one an extract, and put a netherite speed upgrade into it, so it puts a lot of power out. So now they all should be, all right, so now it's crushing. This is doing its job. This is getting the crushing. Yeah, look at all these Blackstone pebbles we're getting. But as soon as I have this import into my system, they're all going to be brought over into here, and then they'll end up in this chest because that's where Blackstone pebbles are. And I did go into the settings and switch to the memory tab here, and I clicked the Blackstone pebbles. You can see it grays out. That means it's locked to that material. So I'm hoping it'll always put them there. But I'm wondering if they will end up, if it happens to compress and there's nothing left, I wonder if this thing's sticking more nuggets in there are going to go to the right chest, or they'll default to some other chest. Don't know, we'll find out. That may be a problem. This is going to fill up really quick. So let's go ahead and stick this variable card, import all items. Now they're all gone. There's still one there. So any nuggets that come in, they're going to get compressed all the way up to 4x. And then the 4x blocks will get sent back to this. But at any time, I can go and grab one of these. Let's go ahead and do it. Stick it on the haunter. Now I set this up to do only 5x, so I do need to break this down to 5x. Toss that in. So yeah, so it's got even more. It's got another about 500,000. It's 500,000 more Blackstone ready to be processed. It's not going to run out for a while. All right, let's do all the others here. Start you, start you. Oh, no, wait. Turn that off. Turn that off. Don't want them going in the chests. That one's not going. Oh, it is. That was bad. Oh, good. This was turned off. So we don't have a ton of Blackstone in. It'll get, that's fine. It would get compressed back up and sent back over. But these other ones, I definitely don't want soul sand going straight into this chest and into my system. I want it all going into the sieve. So those are all looking right, and I can do this one now too. All right. I think maybe we can speed all these up with upgrades. It's like a little faster. So if I temporarily take this away, then all their output will start going into the chests, and we can confirm that everything's working. Look how fast the ores are coming in. They're coming in a whole stack at a time. So that's a quarter stack of ore each time it runs. Yeah, a quarter stack of ore every 5 seconds. Yep, all the nuggets. So pop that back down, and they will all get drained. And into the system. And again, because the system is all, my main storage system all have the Omega tier, every slot can hold 2 billion. Nothing's ever going to overflow. And if it does, it'll just, if we get more than 2 billion iron somehow, we'll just have 2 slots of iron. And then we can go to 4 billion iron. Got plenty of room. I think this is complete. That's running. We've got 3 5x of sand. Probably put some more gravel in there. Maybe some more soul sand. We're good for blackstone. Yeah, but we can easily make this more soul sand over here, or I can already make gravel just fine, and sand. All right, I like that. I now don't have to do sieving. At least not for any of these 5 sieving types. There are a few more. Let's see. If we look at uses for the netherite mesh, sand, red sand will get you, oh, that gets gold and redstone. We don't have a, I don't think there's an easy way to make red sand until we get a little, get a garden going. Endstone, oh yeah, I want to get endstone in here too. So I already have endstone production going. It's not very fast, though. But I am using just a regular basic cobblestone. Let's try upgrading that and see. Oh, I didn't do it fast enough, and water got to my lava, but that's okay. It was flowing lava and didn't go anywhere. All right, so let's upgrade this and see how much faster it is. I'm going to need a whole bunch of buckets of water and lava. Got a bunch of buckets of lava by the look of it. Let's get a few more. And then get some water buckets. Toss those back in the system. Upgrade this. Upgrade that. Now I'm wondering if the flowing version, since this is a recipe that uses flowing, doesn't have to use flowing, but will use up the lava. Let's put that back down temporarily. If it will actually go any faster at all. No, look at that. It just goes up by 1 still. Yeah, so the flowing, the ones that use up the lava, use the flowing, it's going to go slow. Well, we can make this flow twice as fast by doing this in the nether, because lava flows faster there, but that would only be twice as fast. We need a better way to get in stone. One way would be to go to the end. Get some there. That's a possibility. In the other ways, there's an extractor recipe, but the extractors are not very fast either. It's every 1.5 seconds. It does one. We can do bulk. Okay. If we go and get ourselves a dragon head, then we can bulk wash cobblestone. Let's see here. Fan. Oh, that's too bad. It doesn't do compressed cobblestone to compressed endstone. Again, that's another recipe I wish it would do. That would be good. See, any other... No. Alkestry. Turn redstone into it. Get 16 for one. So it uses 8 redstone to produce 16 endstone. We have a lot of redstone. That's a possibility, I guess. Barrel mixing, again, that uses up the lava. Maybe I'll just... We got tons of lava. Well, really, we only have 16... We have 6,000 buckets. That would only be 6,000 endstone, I guess. It still only makes one per... Let's see. So using the flowing... It was making one. So we're at 117. If I just put down a bucket of lava, and it eats it. Yeah, it just still makes one. So that's no faster if I actually gave it real lava, it would be no faster. All right, we'll have to look around to see if there's any faster ways to make this stuff. I already had a couple of these that I put into the system. It's not pushing up. Oh, wait. Is that the problem? Oh, I don't have the pusher in there. This one's push up. Slap that in there. Oh, that is a pusher down. That was the problem. All right, there we go. Now we're going to get some of those. It was just all clogged here. I didn't even notice that was 11,000. So while it is a little slow, it's running all the time. So, yeah, look at that. Does this one have the same problem? It looks like it, yep. I had the pusher in the wrong block. Because I used to have another one on top like I'm doing for the cobblestone. I had a stack of 3, but I really didn't need the upper ones because you can't break those. Can't hammer the larger stacks. This one I just separated with the pipes. I still need some going into there to make my lava, which is just backup lava, really. All right, so now we got plenty of this, and I can take some of these and put them... Or no, I'm not doing it. I need to make that one. So I'll make one more here for endstone and manually fill it. So I guess I will do that and be right back. I want to get some nautilus shells. So this is what I came up with. I pulsed the lights until I got a couple of zombies in there. It's grinding up whatever else showed up. I'm going to kill one of these zombies. But this one I'm going to shrink. There he is, really tiny. And we're going to suck him up in a bottle. Glass bottle contains zombie. Yep, that is the personal shrinking device from the mod Shrink. Not expensive. Just need some power. We got power now. You saw it sort of jerking in my hand as it recharged from the Flux Wireless. And you just use a regular glass bottle on the shrunken zombie. To shrink, you have to crouch right-click. Well, no, not crouch right. Just right-click it in the air. You can choose how big something's going to be. And if you crouch right-click, it shrinks you. So now I'm that size. Ooh, I could see X-ray things. But now let's go back to normal size here. Come over to this. And I'm going to release the zombie into this cage. It looks like he got a hit on me. Is he down there? Yep, there he is. Itty bitty zombie. Now I think this will work even with him being small. Let's find out. Whoop. Should have put the water inside. So now he's underwater. He should drown and become a drowned. Let's fast forward to that. Fast forward. Yep, there he is. Oh, and he grows up when that happens, it seems. But I can shrink him again. And wait till he comes up. Can I get him? I got him. I now have a drowned in a bottle. Actually, what I want to do now is get a swab. Oh, I don't have no more swabs. Swab. Make a new one. Let's let him out. Swab him. Can I swab him when he's small? Maybe not. Oh, missed. Swab him. I guess I don't need to keep him around now. I'll just kill him. And I can do the usual thing and make a mob egg and whack the spawner with that. And then when you turn it on, I guess I'll turn off the lights too, you get drowned. And you run that. I'll turn that off. So everything's at max speed once more. Put this stuff away. And I'll start getting Nautilus shells. And I had it running like overnight. So I've got 4,000 of them now. It's just that easy. Yeah, if you don't have any other way to capture mobs, the shrink tool, which is cheap, just needs a little bit of power. You have plenty of bottles coming in from the mob farm, that's for sure. I've got 87,000 here. I think I've got more than that in my system. I have 174,000. I wonder where the rest of them are. Still have a lot of bottles out in the main system. Weird. But yeah, if you want to get drowned, it is easy to do. And that'll get you Nautilus. Nautiluses? Who knows? Here's another little tidbit. I was getting ice from the extractor, and a compacting drawer here can turn it into packed ice and blue ice. Blue ice, packed ice. And the nice thing is, in this form, it goes both ways. It can compact it and it can uncompact it. So what I've got here, using our washing station, which has got water down there, and I just let all the water out. This exporter here will only whitelist ice. And it's a ultimate pipe upgrade, so it puts a whole stack out there really quick. That gets turned into packed ice from the washing station, And then this is set to blacklist regular ice. So as soon as it changes, it'll put it back in the drawer, which puts it in as packed ice, which then is in here as regular ice as well and can get processed again. And it'll just keep doing that. It'll take one ice, I'll take a whole stack, but let's say one ice, turned it into one pack ice, which will turn into 9 regular ice, and then one of those regular ice will turn into a packed ice, which will turn into 9 regular ice. So each time this processes, your amount of ice goes up 9 times. Now, if you could swap that water out for powdered snow, you could put in the packed ice and freeze it up to blue ice. And that would be an even faster way to increase the ice amount. But I don't have powdered snow. Yeah, this stuff, powder snow bucket, which we can get into with a very small amount of Ars Nouveau. And all I need is 1 bucket of it. So I might do that. But for now, this works pretty well. And since I set it up, it's been maybe 20 minutes. And it already went up by about 100 blue ice. So it's pretty quick. Leave that overnight, and this will have tons. I will want the packed ice, the blue ice, to turn into dry ice or a power reactor. But this is making it, even at the ice to packed ice level of this washer, this goes faster than several reactors could chew through. So we're probably okay with this. Still, I'll probably do the powdered snow, just because I've never done it before. I made an upgrade to my refinery. I had this idea that if I pull the liquids out rapidly and stick them into fluid drawers, then there'll never be time for anything to mix. I haven't programmed all these drawers, so I can't test it exactly. Well, let me see. Now, right now I only have iron, steel, gold, and copper in here. And those don't mix. Well, the steel is... I'd have to make one for the carbon, but I don't want to make one for carbon. Anyway, how this is set up. I've got a logic cable here, an extractor. And to turn it on and off, instead of having a blank card here, which says export all the time, like we're doing elsewhere when we would just want to extract everything, like this guy down here just has a blank variable card, so it pulls everything out of this chest into our system. I wanted this to be Redstone control, so I made a logic cable reader. A logic cable Redstone reader. And I put a blank card here where it says Redstone high. So this card is now going to be true when the redstone is high. So if I turn that off, redstone is low. It's false. And when I flip that switch, it's now true. You can see the redstone low is the opposite. And this is just if there's redstone signal of any sort. But by putting this card in here and turning it into this redstone high card, I could put that in here. And now it is either false if this is off or true if it is on. So it'll extract all the fluids from the foundry only when I flip this switch. So if I want to alloy something in here, I can flip that switch, turn it off, and put the 2 materials in. Now, right now I've got these all locked, but I'm thinking I may not really need to lock them. Yeah, let me try doing that. I'm going to try unlocking them. So any fluid can go in there. So it can hold 7 different types of fluid. But as soon as it empties, it could be any other type of fluid. So now if I wanted to make steel and alloy the cobble and the coal and the iron in the smeltery, I'd flip that to off. And then the fluids will build up in here. So I can add some coal right now and it'll start alloying steel. Let's do it. Let's get some coal. Pop some in there. I'm just shift clicking it so it's fitting into whatever slots are open. There we go. You can see some coal and it's alloying it to steel. Because the molten carbon is in there, I don't want to run the extractor. I want that to be off because I don't want to get liquid carbon coming out of it. Just go ahead and put that in there so it extracts it itself. So once all that is gone and melted down, it's all gone. Wait for all of it to melt. Okay. No more coal in the input. Last of it is being converted into steel with the iron that's already in there. And when there, it's all gone. Now I can flip the switch and two of these drawers should start getting materials. This one's getting steel. This one's getting iron. And they should all be going to these casting tables. So what I've got here is I've got an extractor in each one of the fluid drawers. And they all have a blank card. So whatever's in there gets pulled out. And fluid cable interfaces to each of these tables. And then a pipe extracting the output going underground into the chest. Same as I was doing before. And so far I haven't had any partial fills. That's why I'm using the integrated dynamics to fill them. Because this stuff moves liquids fast. So these things are instantly filling. I think they're filling faster than that graphic on the tooltip. It shows an animation of it filling, but it says 90 millibuckets immediately. So I think that is just an animation that's trying to catch up with how fast it's being filled. And because it's filling them fast, we shouldn't have it splitting. If there's like only one ingot's worth in the drawer, you wouldn't want it to put a little, like 10 millibuckets in every one of these tables. So it should fill one up completely and then stop in that case. But I will report to you if I ever have any partially filled tables. It should only happen when like the material coming in changes. Yeah, it was falling behind, and I briefly had this aldomadium furnace over here. Gotten filled up. It's very, very fast. But it doesn't do... Oh, I've got echoing. I'm not getting game sounds in my headphones. Sorry about the echo. There, that should fix it. But yeah, it doesn't do the doubling that the foundry does. So I won't use that anymore because this has got 14 tables. That seems to be fast enough for as fast as this foundry can melt. Might even increase the foundry size a bit to accommodate it. And it's all coming out just the one drain here. These guys are very, very fast. So yeah, upgraded foundry. But with further updating, because I was getting partial fills that would then get stuck until more of the same material came along. So I made it a change. And that is, if I look at one of these extractors over here, it looks the same as it did before, but this little plus sign. So on the row that you've got the check mark, click that plus, and you've got a bunch of settings you can change. Channel, round robin, fluid transfer rate, passive interaction, check fluid amount. So what I want to do on each one is turn on round robin. That way it will use a different table each time it pulses. That sort of spreads around. its usage. Set the fluid transfer rate to 90. That's enough to make 1 ingot, exactly. It won't transfer any more than that, which it probably couldn't. But the important part is check fluid amount. Make sure that is clicked. Because as it says here when you hover over it, if I can sort of peek through the JEI, if only exactly the given fluid amount is allowed to be moved in 1 tick, not less. It shouldn't say if. It just should only exactly the given fluid amount, 90 millibuckets, is allowed to be moved in 1 tick, not less. So if it only has 20 millibuckets, it won't push that 20 millibuckets out and have a partial fill. It only outputs 90, 1 ingot's worth, and it'll only, of course, do that if there is a free table. So by checking those, setting it to 90 and setting those 2 checkboxes on all of these importers out of the tanks, then we'll never get a half. The other upgrade I did was extend it and the foundry to be a bit bigger. I just made a whole bunch of both and stopped when it was even. I did keep these locked, but now I think I can unlock them. In fact, now I think I'm going to make them all 2x2 drawers. And I may not need to have so many with that. Like this one I have locked with Constantan and Invar because there is still a little bit of mixing. Because it's got a mixture of materials and it pulls the fluids out quickly, but there can still be time to do a little bit of alloying. And the 2 main ones are Invar, which I can't bring up the recipe in that UI, is nickel and iron. So when those 2 go through, you can get Invar. And the other one is Constantan. And that one is copper and nickel. So nickel's the reactive one. And I think this one I have steel in here now. And you can see that one's got 58 and 36. So whenever it makes a little tiny bit of either one of those 2, they'll get added to these drawers. And as soon as they go over 90, it'll make an ingot. So I get a little bit of those materials every now and then. Not many. I have 86 Invar and 68 Constantan. It's been running like this for a good almost 24 hours. I think, yeah. So not much. And having a little bit of that around is fine. So I wasn't worried about that for the mixing. I haven't seen anything else get mixed because all the drawers are locked. And I just, go away. And if there was anything, because they're locked, it would have stayed in here. Any other alloys, and none have shown up. So I think we're good with those. It looks like this one, the iron, because some of the iron has mixed. Okay, yeah, there you can see, as soon as it goes over 90, it uses it up. And because of some of the copper has mixed, that one flickers, and this would probably be the nickel. Yep. So because those 3 sometimes get used to make these 2, you end up with less than a whole 90. But that's fine. It just leaves a little bit in the drawer for next time. So I figure I can unlock them all and use the 2x2s because it'll never have a lot in here probably. Plus even a 2x2 can hold a lot if you fully upgrade it. It's like 500 million buckets in each slot. So yeah. Oh, and the ice has been doing well. Like I said, it's the next day. I got 3.8K of the packed ice. And I got tired of not having clay. So I did the same thing. I got rid of the lava because I didn't really need a smelting station. So I have another one with water. And I put a whole bunch of sand in here, and it's been making clay. I did find that since I do have the time in a bottle, look how fast those go. Click, 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 click. A stack for each click. 6.3 thousand clay. 6.4, 6.5, 6.6. Yeah, that really speeds it up. Oh, I think I might have shown it as I walked past. Maybe you caught it. But I was going to say I should make an end cake. There's a couple different ways to get to the end in this pack, but an end cake is cheap enough to make. Just stick it there. Now it's only a sliver when you make it. But if you get some eyes of ender and right-click those on there, you can fill it out. And I clicked it one too many times, and that sends me to the end. But because I can fly, I do like those shader effects. I don't have to deal with the dragon. I can just fly off. Well, let me run first, then I can go fast. I can just fly off, and I can search for a dragon's head in an end city. And I did that, and it took me forever. They're so rare, it seems. Or I just got really unlucky. But I put one over here. There he is, down there. Under an extractor, underneath an extractor, and that's making dragon's breath. So I didn't even have to go over and fly over to the dragon and capture the breath. This thing will make it. But I can also take that head, put that there, and now I think I take, is it sand? Why is this not working again? I guess it is. Just hasn't gotten much cobblestone. Yeah, let me just get a stack of sand here. Was that it? Oh, it's cobblestone into endstone. Alright. So just get a stack of cobblestone real quick. Yeah, this isn't working. I can do the time in a bottle. No, it's definitely not working. Alright, so let's try doing it horizontally. We'll put the dragon head, let's get it perfectly lined up. Dragon head there. We'll put the fan there. Let's see, let's get some chain drives. Get a few more of those. Let's do a gearbox, which would be this. Some planks. Wasn't it? Oh no, just one. Just one plank. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's 4 of those around a casing. There we go. Vertical gearbox. So the vertical gearbox right away. Bring those down like that. Twist that one. Whoops. That's fine. Oh, wrong spot. Need one more. Now I don't need a vertical one. I need a horizontal one, which you can just craft it. Oh, no, I do need a vertical one. There we go. So now... now there's particles. All right, so that only works horizontally. Make a note. Write that down. It's very important. Very important. And I can speed it up. There we go. So that does make end stone. So I can get a... Alright, so if I put those in there, get out a cobble. It's the only cobblestone. Alright, it's working. And then on this... say not cobblestone. Though I guess it doesn't really need that filter because it will only take the final product out. Still, I want the upgrade in there, so it yanks it all out at once, and I'll have to reprogram that with endstone. Alright. So this will turn 13,000 cobblestone into endstone. Unfortunately, it's not very fast. Wow, that... Don't step on that thing. Oof. It did a lot of damage to me. It was just one hit. Alright, looks like it takes about 30 seconds to do a stack. So that's only about 2 a second. How fast is this thing going? 1 a second. So it's... For all of that, it's only as fast as making 2 of those. Well, that's unfortunate. I really wish it could do compressed ones. Well, darn it. Alright, I will just have to definitely make a garden next. Because one of the crafts... Oh no, there isn't one? I thought there was a seed. No, I don't see the end seeds. Why'd they take those out? Yeah, just limestone. There's no end essence. Which the only thing I'd use it for is making end stone. Well, I guess we can go with generalized ender predictions. Only makes 8 for each one. Or we can get conjuration essence. That turns stone to end stone 1-to-1, and this needs 8 of the... Yeah, let's take a little bit of time to make. So that won't be fast. There just really isn't a particularly fast way. I guess I'll just do mining. Wow. Sad. Still, I think I've got enough to last for a while. And I don't need to do a ton of sifting for that because it doesn't give me anything that I don't have plenty of. Alright, I think we'll wrap the episode up there. I got a lot of comments from my question in the last episode as to how long an episode should be. And the vast majority was long is good. Because you can always pause and come back later. YouTube remembers. And a few said however long it has to be to get the job done. And there's usually several projects in each episode. So I'll still aim for about this amount of time, I think. That seems to work well enough for me. All right, until next time, this is Nonsanity signing out. Take care, be good, and see you next time.